Hey guys, my name is Felipe. I'm one of the associate pastors here at South Bay Church. And by now you've already seen some of what God's done at South Bay Church through the 1-year review video that Aimee showed you. And thank you, by the way, for making the time to hear from her and hear a little bit more about how you can partner with us here at South Bay. But you've seen how God's really been moving through us in our church, in our community here in Silicon Valley. And in the last year, we've seen God grow our church from 0 to over 300 people now, and there's so much happening here that's really, really exciting to be a part of. So I want to take a little bit of time and just share with you some things that are significant about Aimee coming on staff with us and some of the ways that maybe you can help in the process. So it all started at the beginning of this year, around January, when we started evaluating our growth and trying to make a decision about what we need to do to take what we're doing to the next level so that God can continue to grow the church. And so as we were looking at our statistics and our current growth, we realized that the one area in our church that was understaffed and was not a huge enough priority yet was our kids ministry. And kids are such a big priority to us, but we were not able to invest as much time and resources into it because we didn't have any one position just specifically for that ministry. So we began to pray and ask God to show us what we need to do about that area. And at that time, we had about 30 or so kids coming to our church on a regular basis. But as we continued to grow, we noticed that our kids ministry stopped growing. So as we began to pray, we noticed right away that Aimee was one of the most committed volunteers we had. She had a passion for kids. It seemed very evident that God had called her to this type of ministry. And so we began to pray about what it would take for us to bring her on staff and just have her, just mobilize her to serve full-time or part-time in our kids ministry. So as we began to do that and looked at the process and our budget, we found that there's really no way that we could bring in from our own budget enough money to fund her being on staff with us. So we asked a couple of our partner churches if they would help us with a one-time gift or maybe a continual support to help us bring Aimee on staff. And through a few connections there, we were able to bring her on staff around March or February this year, part-time. So she's been working with us now 3 days a week or so, officially. Unofficially, she actually works around the clock with us, but she works officially about 3 days a week and does so much here to bring value to our ministry. And ever since we brought her in, we've already seen our kids ministry double in size. So we're now running over 60 kids a weekend. And as a result of that growth and the fruit that came about after we brought Aimee on staff, we've just realized that 3 days is just not enough, and we need to really give her enough money to be able to pay her full-time, or at least four days a week or so to be here with us. So I want to ask for your help, and she's going to talk to you a little bit more about what that will look like for you to partner with us in helping her invest more of her time here. And just to know, for you to know a little bit about Aimee too, she does a lot here for us at Bay Kids, and she does everything from scheduling volunteers to training leaders to mobilizing teams of people to serve. She teaches almost in every service, and she's just a tremendous leader in our ministry and has made a huge difference for us. And we're just so grateful that God's brought her to us for this season now. And I hope that you pray and you consider joining her and us in this vision of reaching people here. A little bit about our church. Our demographics here, even in our community where we meet in as a church, in our school, most of the kids are in that age group of our Bay Kids ministry that is pre-K through 10 years old. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these kids in that age group within just a couple miles of where we meet in as a church. And over 95% of people around us don't know Jesus yet. And we just really believe that by reaching these kids, we are able to reach their parents and their families also. And there is no greater opportunity for us to reach these families than by reaching their kids. And so I hope that you'll consider even praying for us in this next year and joining us and asking God to continue to multiply what's happening here and that He will continue to move mightily in our midst. So thank you for making time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time with Aimee.
What up, South Bay? Today we want to give you an inside look into our Bay Kids Children's Ministry. So if you're new here with us and you've got kids, you're going to be able to see what they're going to do on a Sunday morning. And if you're a regular, we're going to be able to tell you what an awesome opportunity you have to serve and impact kids' lives. So let's go check it out. So the first question probably in your mind is, how in the world do I get to Bay Kids? Well, from here at the main entrance, all you gotta do is just look for the sign. Or you can just drive up right here and drop your kids off by the big banner. And when you cut through this middle way, our Bay Kids ministry is right there to the right and to the left. So at Bay Kids, we have 3 different age groups. We have our Otters, which is our 2 and under in our nursery. We have the Dolphins, which is our 3 to 5-year-olds in our pre-K through kindergarten. And we have the Sharks, which is our 1st through 5th graders. So let's go ahead and check out the nursery check-in first. Well, as you can see here at our nursery check-in, we have wonderful volunteers that are excited to greet you and check in your child. And what we do for check-in here at Bay Kids is we have a check-in slip, and these are for our security. So you fill out the information that stays with your child, and you keep this tab that has an identifier number for your child. And you bring this back when you come to pick up your kid after the service. From our Otters with the nursery, let's head over to the Dolphins and check out our pre-K through kindergarten. Here we are at our Dolphins, the pre-K through kindergarten. We have another wonderful volunteer here to help you check in your kids. So if your child is in pre-K through kindergarten, bring them here. Now let's go check out our Sharks, our 1st through 5th graders. Here's our Sharks check-in where you can come down and check in your 1st through 5th graders.
Everybody, everywhere, come on, let me hear you sing. Everything's okay and everything's alright, 'cause I got Jesus in my life. Everything's okay.
Thank you for coming on a tour with us at Bay Kids. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I know you're probably sitting there wondering, what are the ways that I can get involved? We have several opportunities available for you, from our setup and our tear down, to greeters for our check-in, to teachers and assistants, even worship leaders, and many more. And if you look inside your programs, you have a flyer that has information on each position and also a way that you can sign up. Thanks a lot.